All right, so welcome everybody to Indigenous Tools for Addressing Grief, Loss, and Trauma with Denise Miller. Just as a reminder, it's old news now, but if you are looking for credits, don't forget to type your name in the chat box and indicate what kind of credits you're looking for, OASIS versus NYCB. Be sure to complete the session evaluations. They will be pinned to the top of the chat here momentarily. And your feedback is extremely important to us. We want to make sure that our programming is a reflection of the needs of our community, and we do that through our surveys, which you'll also find in the chat. Yeah, I think that's about it. Denise, okay. It's all you. Just let me know when you'd like me to share my screen and when to advance your slides. I'm happy to do that.
Well, Tansi bonjour, Aini bonjour, Denise Tsigason. Nakawipana Sigaso Lucien Breland, Nakawipana Ochi, Oka River, Mackinac, Manitoba, Canada, Michif, Cree, Anishinaabe, Saulteaux, Francais, Poussey, Nakawipana Sigaso Victor Miller, Nakawipana Ochi in Connecticut, English, Austrian, and Austrian Jewish. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Denise. Introducing myself the way I was taught by my elders to introduce our family, because often when we introduce ourselves, we find family members or relatives, distant relatives. So my mother was Lucienne Breland, and she was from a very small town in northern Manitoba called Mackinac, about the size, like maybe 15, 20 little houses there. And she is what you call Metis or Michif, which is a mixture primarily of Cree, is the Anishinaabe and Saulteaux, and a little long line of Scott. And my father was Victor Miller, and he was from New Canaan, was from English descent, and his father was Austrian and so I honor my ancestors that way. I also want to, I am living on the unceded territory of the Tohono and the Yaqui in the Sonora Desert. So I'm coming to you from Tucson, Arizona, and just incredibly humbled and honored to be here with you. So if you want to, we're going to go ahead and get started. We've got a lot of information, and so we're just to this, and hopefully to help me get this started. Maybe not. Maybe not. So
I am
okay, Ben,
Denise. I am here, but I'm having quite a bit of difficulty. You're breaking up again, and what I'd like you to do is refresh this browser page and just re-enter, and we'll take off right from here.
Okay, so I'll just leave and refresh the whole thing, and then come back.
If you just go up to the top of your browser and hit the refresh button and come back in, maybe that'll solve our technical issues here, but I think it is. Let's see how she makes out here.
Okay. Let's pray that this works now.
You look and sound much better from my end. So okay. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Fingers
Thanks,
crossed.
Denise.
Legs crossed too, eh? Okay. So you can go ahead then. I don't know, were you able to hear the introduction at all? And if you want to then show the PowerPoint going, then we will.
Breaking up just a little bit again, Denise. Did you want me to share my screen? Let's see if it'll resolve itself.
Worst case scenario, we may have to go into a Zoom. Okay. So are you able to hear me?
We are able to hear you. You sound great. And if that comes up, I will create a Zoom room and we'll put that link in the chat. Yep.
Okay. So you can just so now are you the one that's going to be moving me forward here on this PowerPoint?
I will. Just let me know when you'd like me to advance the slides.
You want to go then to the next screen, please. So just a really brief overview of what we're going to be doing. Yeah, so I already introduced myself, and we are going to have a song after this. We are going to have a pause and then bring up the song. So if you want to get that ready, the mother-daughter here, I will be moving to the next screen, and then after that, whoops. Okay, so we're just going to be talking today about what is energy, what are boundaries, and grief, loss, trauma, and addiction, and how that impacts our energy field as well as our boundaries. Some Indigenous tools that help us to deal with grief, loss, and do a guided meditation where we're going to actually be strengthening our boundaries, clearing our energy field a little bit, and creating a heart boundary. And then that's what we're going to be doing. And then there'll be some Q&A. So if you want to go just to the next page, please, I want to tell you a little bit about this song that we're going to be listening to. So I teach drumming and singing as well as lead ceremonies, activities at Haven, which is a women's residential program, as well as an IOP program. Some of you may know Tony Redhouse also does work there as well. So beautiful about this image of these three photos is the elder in the bottom is I'm apprenticing with grandmother Isabel Mwasige, and she is really teaching me how to step into being to become a grandmother. And then the and one of the girls who successfully completed the residential NIOP and her two children. And so this song, you'll hear me kind of describe it, brought to me by, or brought to the drum, which is called the Haven Strong Woman drum. And it was brought to the drum the first or second time I taught there. And so if you could go ahead now, Ben, get that song going. If that's going to work for you or not, you may have to go to the email that Sandy sent you with the for that. So and if you can't find it for you, if it's too much trouble,
I think Sandy said she was going to post those as we went in the chat.
Okay, so it's Sandy. So
I don't have those links. I'm sorry.
She didn't send you the email with the link, eh? Sandy, if you could.
I told her.
Okay, maybe she'll post it, and then if it shows up, we can play it wherever. This says sound is terrible. Is it still terrible? Is the sound still really bad? Less than a minute ago. Maybe we'll have to go into.
So I'm getting lots of DMs.
Okay, better now.
Yeah, let me give me about.
It's pretty bad. Okay, well, maybe what we should do, then we're not going to have the PowerPoint at all, which is too bad because unless we can we do screen share or can we do a PowerPoint in a Zoom? I don't know.
We can. You're going to have to, if everybody can just bear.
It says it's pretty
Teresa,
bad.
do you want to hop on?
Yeah, I just sent you the email with the YouTube link in it again, and the sound seems to be getting better. So I don't know if you're still getting DMs, but try the link that I just sent you in an email to pull up the mother-daughter song.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, let's do that.
It wasn't included in the first email.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Okay, give me 1 second here. I'm going to have to pull down this PowerPoint and then pull up the
song.
Just 1 second. Is everybody seeing that?
There it is.
Excellent.
Things about working here at the Haven is really learning how to walk in a good way and how to be gentle with each other as we're learning how to walk, how to have compassion for each other, that when we are at our worst, that we are not judged, that we are treated with love and compassion and respect. And that's part of recovery, and that's what the Haven, I think, really tries to provide for everyone, is a place where we can be safe to heal the wounds, that led us to be where we ended up, right? So one of the things that we really want as women is to learn how to walk in a strong way. And so this next song was actually brought to the drum very early on, within the first or second teaching. One of the clients here brought us this song, and it's called the Mother-Daughter Song. And from what I understand about this song, the words are basically, I'm going to walk this way, and I want you to follow me. So it's a mother teaching her daughter how to walk. And I think about, all of us learning how to walk in a good way. And sometimes we stumble, sometimes we fall pretty far down. But as long as we keep picking ourselves up and keep trying, we're learning how to walk as people. We're recovering from historical trauma and our own trauma. And so, thinking about becoming, strong daughters, but also becoming strong mothers. And even if we don't have children, we can take that role on for other children. It's our collective responsibility. So this song is called the Mother-Daughter Song.
Okay, thank you, Ben. So, how's the sound now? I'm hoping that the sound is okay. Okay, so if you want to bring that PowerPoint back up, and we'll just move forward.
So the next song that we want to
Okay, please, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Well, and then if you want to just move to the next screen, please. I'm hearing sound in the back. Is that okay? I'm hearing. There we go. So these are some of my mentors that I studied with. The late Non-Existent that I studied with. Yes, and she was a Peruvian medicine elder Paco, and studied with her. She passed away a couple of years ago. Not the director of the Native Voice program at the Haven. The late Mother Amber, I met her when I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Morocco. She had been a slave, and my dear friend met her. She was kind of like a Sufi mystic, shamanic, amazing powerhouse. And I believe she manifested her freedom by aligning with her true authentic being. And one of my businesses, the Amber Healing Center, from her, because to me, she really embodies our ability to free ourselves emotionally, mentally, physically, from whatever is holding us binding us from being free to be who we truly are. And my beloved Nokomis grandmother, Isabel Nwasage, I am studying her in Batoche, Saskatchewan, at a huge ceremony for our missing and murdered Indigenous women. And we just clicked, and I've been studying with her now for a while. It's a huge influence in my life. So I want to honor those. And if you could, please. And my elder, Don Koyas, who is the founder of the White Bison Wellbriety movement. Honestly, I can almost tear up when I say this about Don. I don't know if I'd be alive. He inspires me. Every Monday through Friday, I read from, this book, the Meditation American Elders. I have a Facebook group called the Courageous Healing Hearts, and I read from this book and read the daily Metis. And so he's played a huge role in my life. And then on the right there is the late Albert Sombrero, who brought White Bison Wellbriety many years ago, who was also a roadman of the Native American Church. And also without him, when I was critically ill with the autoimmune issues, I just about kicked the bucket. And he did many ceremonies for me, Native American Church ceremonies for me and my family. And so I honor him. And the most influential person in my life was my Mrs. Lucienne Breland, and just honor her. And I try my best to walk in a good way to honor my ancestors that way. So I just honor my mentors, my elders, and we can go ahead and move to the next slide, please.
Hey, Denise, while we have the power, Denise, can you hear me?
Yeah.
While we have the PowerPoint up, would you mind turning off your camera to save some bandwidth?
Oh, absolutely.
Just while the PowerPoint's up?
Yeah, absolutely.
That already sounds good. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
We just really don't want to miss anything at all.
Good. We're just doing the best we can. So yeah, that's a great idea. Hopefully that'll help. So if we can go to
so much better. Fantastic.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay. Okay. So the next screen, please. And oops. There we go. So we are energetic beings, correct? And everything, including our bodies, is made of energy. And when our energy is balanced, it kind of looks like this photo is. We have like this tube going up the base of our spine all the way up to the top of the head, and it kind of circles around like a torus, right? And so this energy flows up. I see it as being about the diameter of a grapefruit, coming up from the base of our spine all the way up to the top of our head and flowing around, right? So blocked in excessive energy can either blow us out, or our energetic tube or cord can get so blocked that the energy stops flowing. Okay, we can go to the next screen, please. So how we perceive feelings. And so when we talk about feelings, often we say, oh, that's a positive or a negative or a good or a bad or a wrong feeling. And the way I elders, especially Danya Sunta, is that all feelings are valid. Not a negative feeling, it's a feeling, period. Resentment, negative, it's a feeling. And so we don't want to pass judgment on our feelings. However, they do have different vibration, right? Gratitude, some people have read that gratitude is the highest vibrating emotion. So it lifts us up, right? Whereas shame and guilt and hatred and fear are really heavy. And, you know, back in the 60s, they go, oh, that's heavy, man. Well, it is, and I didn't understand it, but I do now. So how can we look at emotions without judging them or our feelings? Is really say, oh, that's a heavy, that feeling is heavy. It weighs us down, right? Worry. People say, oh, I carry the weight of the world on my shoulders, right? Or light feelings like excitement or gratitude, compassion, love, you know, those are all very light feelings. And heavy feelings tend to settle down low in the body. Just like if you scooped up some water and all the sediment and stuff, the heavier stuff is going to settle down ultimately. Okay, we can go to the next screen, please. So our energetic boundaries. I like this picture because our boundaries, we have boundaries to protect ourselves. And I am going to open my screen in a second here just for you to see. Energetic boundaries reflect how closely we want someone near us. And I'm just going to turn this on just for a second. Whoops, I think I turned myself back off. Oh, whoops, let me turn. Okay, so let me screen. So just so you can all hopefully see me, but you know, our energy can go out far, right? But our boundaries are typically how stand next to us, you know? And I'm working with people when they say, just say, show me where your boundary is. And if their boundaries like up here, they have very little boundaries, or their boundary might be way far away, which means they don't want anybody coming near them. But typically, you know, about this far away, maybe that's about as close as I want somebody standing. And my energy can be further out than my boundary, right? So that's, we can go to the next screen. Okay, so what impacts our boundaries? Drugs and alcohol can literally blow out your no boundary, right, at all, or weaken it. And also emotional and physical trauma can damage our boundaries. So, for example, physical trauma might be you have a car accident and boom, your boundary might just go wide open, right? You find out some devastating news and something happens, and you know, you find out some your boundary off completely. Or let's say you get physically hit and you get a cut or a bruise that has gone through your whole energy field, and now it might have cut a hole in your boundary. So our damaged, right? So what happens when boundaries are damaged, open, or non-existent is that we are wide open to being able to absorb other people's energy. Okay, we can go to the next screen. Okay, so this is the energy field, which, as I say, is different. Your energy, we are like light bulbs releasing energy out, right? And so our energy field is, you know, our boundary. So if you looked at this image, that could be how far out your energy field could go, but your boundary might be 2 feet around you. A real quick story, I had the honor of attending a workshop many years ago with the Dalai Lama, and it was a several-day workshop. And I kept looking for his energy field, and I couldn't see it, and I couldn't see it. And today, I realized I was in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, go ahead and turn to the next screen. And so, you know, our energy, our aura, and we can pull it in. Let's say, for example, you know, you're out in nature, you can really open up your aura. Or if you're on a subway, you can pull it in right next to your skin. Move out that, but typically your energy field is about around you, okay? So physical and emotional trauma impacts the energy field as well as the boundary. So personal and familial mental health and addiction issues, such as abuse of any kind, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, sexual abuse, accidents, drug deals gone bad, you know, missing and murdered loved ones. You know, many of us have missing and murdered loved ones, overdoses, all kinds of things can really impact our energy, right? Unexpressed grief, fear, shame, guilt impact our boundaries and our energy field. And also we can absorb other people's energy, right? Or even a place's energy. You know, there's a reason why they, you know, like if you go into a bar, there's a reason they call energy, the alcohol spirits, alcohol. Actually, the origin of alcohol is an Arabic word, alcohol, which is energy eating spirits, I think is the name of it. I don't know what it is, but it's you know, we are very by where we are. You know, you could be in a peaceful, very relaxed situation, and somebody could come banging into your room and screaming, and we get hit by that energy, and we can absorb some of that. Okay, let's go on to the next screen, please. So what is muscle memory? So, you know, have you ever had body work and getting a massage and all of a sudden you start crying? Our body stores patterns of stress, trauma, and tension in the muscles. The tissues hold unexpressed, unresolved feelings and thoughts, long-term stress patterns anywhere in the body. Energy, emotional clearing is really imperative for long-term chronic muscle memory issues, health issues. If we don't clear it, the body will keep creating the issue, right? Screen, please. All right, so some Indigenous tools for dealing with grief, loss, and trauma in recovery. And I just put it as a side note because I didn't want to forget. It wasn't until August 11th, 1978, that we were allowed to practice and ceremonies. You talk about trauma and loss and grief. We would go to prison for having a sweat lodge. So some of the ways that we can heal is through ceremony. So that first picture on the left was taken at the Haven IOP just a few weeks ago. We drum on weekly, and we open and we do ceremony, and we sing in a good way. And one of the sisters, the newer sisters, had her baby there, and so we did a blessing ceremony where we laid the baby on the drum, and we just were singing the strong woman, this little girl, for this little baby, the strong woman song. Way, hey, and we were just tapping very lightly the whole time. That baby was just looking at me. It was one of the sweetest little ceremonies. And and afterwards we did a prayer and a blessing for her, welcoming her to Wellbriety, welcoming her to the drum, welcoming all of us as her aunties, that we take her on as family. So this is just little ceremonies like this, right? The second photo was taken at a White Bison Wellbriety conference, and this is the Wellbriety drum with a sacred hoop. And you can't see, actually this photo was cut when I put it here, and all the dancers are off to the side. But this was at a powwow, celebrating, singing and dancing, you know, embracing culture. And whether it's Indigenous or Haitian or whatever the culture is, we all have cultural ancestry, right? The third photo was taken also at a White Bison conference with Dr. Henrietta Mann. She was one of the speakers. So one of the ways for us is to learn, to study with elders and to receive these teachings. The fourth photo was taken at France. Actually, I was teaching a workshop there, and this is an altar that we set up for our missing and murdered and loved ones, Indigenous loved ones, as well as all loved ones. And so this was an altar. So this is something also that we can do ceremony. We can do smudging, which we will be doing. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Drumming and singing will vibrates and helps, and toning does this as well, or singing vibrates the vagus nerve, create oxytocin and as well. But that drum, we have that muscle memory, and it shakes things up, and it allows those blocked emotions also to come out. And so these are just some of the ways. There are many other ways, but these are some of the tools. And if we could go to the next photo, please. And so if you could get this song, hopefully you can find this song, pull this up. And if you can't, I'll just sing it myself. But, you know, this one of the, you know, is doing ceremony. And so the bottom is the drum I carry, this the sister spirit drum, singing for our residential school survivors in front of the largest Catholic church in Tucson. We did a prayer and a ceremony praying for, you know, to as Don Coyas calls, to forgive the unforgivable, to heal, to do a ceremony there. And so if you, whenever you want, if you can go ahead, well, let me just describe this. And then this photo that you see, this red path on, is a pair of tops of moccasins representing somebody, a loved one made that for a missing and murdered person. And we have so many, you know, and there were over, I don't know, 1,500 pairs all the way, probably a half a mile or more walk all the way down to the river and back. And this song that you're going to hear came to me a couple of weeks before the ceremony. And I had the honor with Christy Belcourt's dad, and somebody was smudging, and he was praying over each one. And I sang this song, and we walked all the way down and all the way back, praying for each. And so these are the ways that we heal, is acknowledging the truth and offering healing. We go ahead and bring this. And that's me. Actually, one more thing, that photo of me, this is at a conference, and the silhouette in that heart, it says representing MMIW of Canada, and there was one of the United States. There were children, and then there were victims of domestic violence. And you can see that's the shawl in the back, and that drum, or that sacred hoop. There are 100 eagle feathers on that. There's one more feather hanging in the center for our missing and murdered Indigenous loved ones. So let's go ahead now, and we'll bring this up. And so yes, singing and praying is a huge part of our recovery. These are tools that are ancient for us. So whenever, if you can bring that up, and I'm going to take a split sip of water while you're doing that. Issues, just let me know, and I'll just sing it.
The next song that we want to sing is an honor song. And it is a rather heavy topic, but Tucson has the 4th highest rate of MMIW. And so we really want to honor all of our missing, murdered Indigenous women, children, and men and boys. And so we're going to sing this song for you, and just ask that while we're singing it, that you can be praying, right? That we're really going to put our prayers into this song. And this song came to me a couple of years ago, and I had the honor of singing it several times in various ceremonies, honoring our missing and murdered Indigenous women. So here we go. Yeah.
Dan, if you want to go ahead and just, yeah, thank you. It's kind of, go ahead, yeah, and take that down. So, you know, one of the members that was sitting at that drum with us, one of the girls, she had a niece whose life was taken when she was 7 years old, and so we were really, and amazingly, I know her, the mother of that girl, and know I had one of the family members there with me recovering, and we can go ahead and move. So these are ways that we can heal, and one of the things that about the drum. We are the only women's drum in Tucson, and now the drum group, the Haven Strong Women's, formed in public now. We are being called more and more, and as they graduate, then they move to my drum, and so it's just been lovely, and it's such it's a huge part of our recovery program. So guided meditation, I'm going to move into this. So how guided meditation supports recovery, and we do a lot of guided meditation as well. I do a lot of guided meditation work with them. So guided meditation can help us, and many can feel empowered and protected because we can look within and find out how to track things and help ourselves heal. So it's very empowering for us. We are able to more easily access and release our feelings, and we are much more able to live in the present. When things are overwhelming, we can go within, and when we come back out, we're able to be present and not live in a triggered space. Go ahead and move to the next slide, please. So one of the things we're going to be doing in the strengthening our boundaries. And, you know, yesterday, I want to say, I can't remember, is it Mr. Mata, or is that his name? I think, I can't remember. I don't know why I'm having a brain freeze about it, but in any case, was talking about boundaries, you know, and that we're absorbing people's energy, right? And that's one of the things that is happening. When we learn how to strengthen our boundaries, we are not absorbing. We're all working with people with a lot of trauma, and a lot of us who are doing this kind of work have had a lot of trauma ourselves. A lot of us are being called to do this because we understand how important this work is. So when we can strengthen our boundaries, we are not absorbing other people's energy, right? So we're not going to get so drained because we're able to, you know, I had a client, and like she always used to come at the end of the day, and every time she'd come, when she left, I would literally almost be on the floor. I was so wiped out. And then one day she came on a Saturday for an emergency session, and I didn't have any other clients that day. I thought before it was just because I'd had a busy day. I had one client that day. When she left, I was on the floor. And Jones Benally, he's a medicine elder, a Dene, a Navajo man. He was telling me, you need to strengthen your boundaries. And that was, you know, and I was like, okay. And I just wasn't doing it. Now I'm just like, we have to have healthy boundaries. And I'm not letting somebody, I'm talking about your energetic boundary here. So it reduces burnout, and this is Rama instead of trauma. I saw that this morning and I thought I laughed. It was like even more than trauma, it's Rama in the workplace and our lives in general. So with boundaries, you know, we are able to maintain our energy, and it's going to, because we're more aligned and centered. It empowers us to recognize our own trauma history and the importance of doing our own work, so that if we do absorb stuff and we can clear it out, that we recharge ourselves and we're not drained. Okay, next slide, please. So medicine tools for clearing energy in a space. Before we do work, we want to clear the energy. So medicines such as incense have been used in cultures all over the world, in temple, in mosques, in churches, you know, in Shram, Buddhist, Hindu, you know. It's because it smells good. It's because it's medicine, and we treat it in an indigenous way. We call it medicine. It's not just incense. It is medicine, right? So using medicine clears space, and it does really create. And that's just reminding me. I'm going to go ahead and light my medicine here again because I had some earlier. And so for Indigenous medicine, traditionally, and the way that I roll, is never bought. It's only gifted or personally harvested or traded. Sometimes I'll go online, I'm doing a live and I'm going, oh my gosh, my sage is running. Can anybody trade? And I'll make you a ribbon skirt, and we can trade that way. But if you do use medicine, and if you want to get, so and on this alt, you can see my little altar here. I've got sweetgrass, I've got sage, I've got cedar, I've got tobacco, right? Also, fire is medicine, lighting that candle, right? And those shakers there in my drumming and shaking rattles. In Peru, we use a lot of rattles for clearing energy, right? So, but if you are going to get medicine, if you are going to use this medicine, if you buy a smudge stick, take it apart and just light one. I'm going to just turn this on so you can just see what I'm talking about here, just for a second. You know, this is how little I'm using right now. I just have a little on. You don't need, unless you're at a gathering of 100 people, you don't need to do the whole smudge stick. This is me. And I light my smudge every single clearings, and if I'm working on, you know, having sessions, one good big smudge stick can last me 6 months, right? And so, you know, treat your medicine with respect. It gave its life for you, right? Or tobacco. If you're going to pray with your tobacco, we don't smoke tobacco. We pray with it. You can take an itty bitty witty teeny pin, maybe like 20 grains of salt, and pray with that and lay that down. You don't need to take a handful. Little goes a long way, right? So we just want to be really respectful with medicine. And if you're going to get medicine, get it from an indigenous source, because that way you know it has been harvested in a sacred way, that prayers have been made, that offerings have been made, that it's been handled with love and reverence. So just being conscious of your medicine and how you treat your medicine. Okay, go ahead and actually, you know what? Well, take it back if you something. You can see this. I don't know if you, I've got my little smudge pot going on here. I'm just going to really quickly show you. I will usually wash my hands in that smoke, and then I bring it over and I'm clearing my mind, and I'm clearing my ears, and I'm clearing my eyes and my mouth, my expressions. You know, bringing that in. If there's a place of pain, bring it to that place of pain, you know. And that's all I'm just going to show right now. But that's, you know, essential oils are really fabulous. You know, there's other medicines. Essential oils are fabulous. Holy water. You know, I would encourage you to try to use the medicine from your ancestral lineages. You're European, you know, it could be way, you know, before occupation there, which is like 1,200 years ago or whatever that, whenever that was. I mean, not that far back, but before occupation, before all the witch trials and all that kind of stuff, the indigenous people had their own medicine in their own ways. So anyway, that's all. Okay, if you can go ahead and go. We're getting close to, so whenever you are going to be doing a guided meditation, you need to create a sacred space, because energy work, you know, it requires that you open yourself up. And if you're going to open up your energy field, and if you're going to boundaries, and you're going to open up those energies, to create a safe container so that you know you are protected. You don't want to be vulnerable. And so this can be done really in any belief. This is a photo of me opening sacred space at the Braveheart Women International Conference, you know, and this I actually opened at the beginning of the day conference. You can open a conference, open a gathering, and at the end of the conference, then I close. The entire event was being held in a sacred way, right? So, but that can be done in any way according to your faith, you know. However, you know, if you know, you can call, if you're Christian, you can call in Jesus. If you're Catholic, you can call all the angels and saints. You can call in, you know, Muhammad, Fatima, you can call in Buddha, you can call in all your helpers, you can call in whoever. And so there's, you know, it's about you intentionally creating a safe container that's culturally appropriate, And I'm going to be opening sacred space before we do this, and I'm going to do it my way. And I'm not telling you this is the way to do it. I'm just going to do it the way that I was taught and the way it feels right to me. But we always want to create a bubble of protection around ourselves before we do any kind of work where we're opening ourselves up and releasing emotions. We want to feel safe. Okay, we go ahead and move on to the next slide. So, and we're going to be working with Mother Earth. And so one of the things, if you have the blessing of doing and being able to sit on the earth, it's even more powerful. But, connecting and working with Mother Earth, when we're barefoot, electrons are coming up from Mother Earth into the body. And this grounding effect is extremely important because it actually helps pull out toxic energy out of us, right? So if you have a chance, and I would recommend, even if you're sitting in the high rise, and put your feet down and just imagine tubes going all the way down into the earth. But when we do this work, okay, we can go ahead and move to the next slide. When we do this work, we want to be seated down with our feet flat on the ground. Right? If you lie down, I'm going to ask you to sit up so you can start preparing for that. So the basics before a guided meditation is create a safe space. And what we're going to do before we even get started is we're going to identify the boundary and connect with Source and Mother Earth. So is there any way you can just pull me up now so that they can see? Because I want to just talk to you about a couple of things before we get started so you can visually see what I'm talking about. And also, too, we're probably going to be bringing in, I guess I need to bring myself up. Okay, so before we get started, I was taught by one, we are kind of like a pearl on a string to the center of the earth. So if you imagine the earth, and here's the center of the earth, right? We're all like spokes. Mother Earth's gravitational medicine literally is holding us, be floating off into space. So this is the earth, and here we are, but we've got this cord, our energetic cord, all the way up to the center of the universe source. We're all coming from that, right? Whichever direction we're going. So that's why we're like a pearl on a string from the center of the universe to the center of the earth. So this tube goes in through the top of our head and all the way down to the base of our spine and all the way down to the center of the earth. So I just want you to be able to visualize that. And so we work with Mother Earth. She is the great transformer, and I hope to God you can hear me. If you can't, tell me to take my camera off at this point. But she is the great transformer. She can transform, rotten leaf and then compress that down into diamonds. She has the ability to transform things, right? So transformational power of Mother Earth with the air and the earth and the fire and the water element. All those elements can be used to help us heal. Okay, so I want you, if anybody wants to come on here and join me, if we can, if if it ends up taking up too much whatever, then we won't do it. Okay, because I want to make sure that we can maybe one or two people if they. But as we're doing that, just what we're going to do, and I have a handout for you, so you don't need to take notes or anything, but we're going to, I'm going to open up, right? But what we're going to do once we get going is, and maybe it could just be me and Teresa, and that might be it. Teresa, I don't know, we'll see how. Crystal bowls, I'm sure some of you have kind of seen those crystal toning bowls, right? We're going to imagine that our hands are bowls, that they are receiving pure source energy flowing in. Bigger and bigger and brighter and brighter. If you're going to feel your hands get warm, they're going to heat up. And so I'm just going to turn this on.
Do you want me to stop recording now too?
Not yet, but I'll tell you, but soon. So let's say this is my boundary here. My energy field might be out here, but my boundary's here. So I'm going to fill hand out to that boundary. So I'm going to imagine, so this, it's like turning a faucet on. It's going to come across. This is source energy coming and feeding your boundary, right? And the boundary is always like you're standing in the middle of a circle, right? And you can move the circle around. You can spin it around. You can just imagine that the whole boundary is being fed. Or you can, sometimes I just go like this and I just imagine. One of the places where our boundary is typically the weakest, because we're moving forward in life. We usually have pretty strong boundaries here, but we forget about this. And this is where stuff happens behind my back. Oh, we did it behind my back, or he stabbed me in the back, and all this kind of stuff. A lot of stuff happens. Lies happen, deception happens, cheating happens, all kinds of stuff behind our back, right? So we really want to either bring that boundary around and spinning it so that we're feeding it, or sometimes I'm just receiving here and I'm releasing it back. Okay, we're going to do that. And so we're going to, fill. I'm going to cross the arms, and then we're going to fill, and bring it out. We're going to work with both hands because we want to get both hands used to doing this energy. So we're going to fill, and I'm going to guide you through. Okay, we're doing this a couple of times, and then we're going to bring both hands out again. So this right here is what I call your body boundary. Just FYI, this is your body boundary. And now, one of the things that happens around our hearts are designed for love and to receive love, but we've all been hurt. And some of us have armor. Love in, we can't love out. So what we can do is create an energetic boundary, and it kind of looks like an inner tube all the way around us. And so what we're going to do is we're going to fill. We're going to fill our hands as big as we can. And then we're going to bring our hands as close to our chest as possible. Okay? And after we fill, do this 2 or 3 times. We're going to, okay? So that's hopefully everybody knows what they're doing. We're breakout sessions, either on a Zoom or something. I don't think we're going to have too much time for Q&A at this point, but I want to make sure that, anyway, that's what we're going to do. So now, Teresa, if you could, when we do say, thank you, Ben, so much for all your help. I'm going to hide myself again, and really quickly. So we're going to skip a couple of the, you just go ahead, and we're going to have to skip that one altogether. Let's just, and that one, we just did it. So let's just hand it. If we could go to that last one, just take a moment, really just like one moment. How are we doing on time? Are we almost out of time here? How much time do we have?
We have, let's say, 4.5 minutes.
Okay. So just take a moment and check in with your body and your energy. Are you able to breathe a little bit better? Is there any reduction in tightness in your body? Did any feelings come up? Sometimes when we create this heart boundary, the heart feels safe and emotions start coming. So I wanted to make sure that if you need to go into a breakout room, we can do that, and I can help you clear anything that might be coming up. Okay. So if we could go to the next page really quickly. Just about upcoming events that I have. I do the daily reading from the Meditation with Native American Elders with Don Koyas Friday. You can find me at Courageous Healing Hearts, which is the home of the Amber Freedom Method, which is, you just experienced a part of that. I do have several workshops, the Intro to Energy Clearing, and this is a teeny weeny part of that. I do Monday through Friday daily deep clearings using what we just did, as well as other things. So that happens. A Journey to Your Safe Haven is a mini workshop. Creating Balance in Relation to the Medicine Wheel, which is a pending 6-credit, 6-hour class that hopefully that's going to be coming very soon. And Sandy, if you want to post links to the I have a sign up sheet. I'm just going to say this now before I forget. If you sign up for the newsletter, I'm going to be offering a free class specific for member people who attended this workshop right now, that we're going to be going, we're going to do this process again, and and I'll have more time for Q&A, and that will be a Zoom event. So if you sign up for the newsletter, you will be eligible to get that free class. It'll be a free class coming up. I don't have the date in my head. I'm kind of launched off in orbit right now. I also do the Rites of the Moonai Key Sundays, 5 steps to cleansing in recovery. I didn't talk about that, but I am a colon hydrotherapist and detox coach. Intensive energy clearing workshop, which is a 3-month intensive. And then I also do private energy clearing sessions. Okay. So, and you can find all that information. Somebody's going to be posting that on the site. If we could go to the next page, please. And also too, I can share more info with you if you, okay. So I want to just end this with an honor song. I'm going to sing a couple of verses each. So I'm going to be singing the Men's Warrior song and the Women's Warrior song, because I want to honor all of you for the work that you are doing. I want to honor Teresa and all the people that have worked so hard putting this together. So I'm just going to sing a little bit of each, probably just twice of each. But I just really would like if you could close your eyes and just receive my respect, my gratitude, and appreciation for you. And the very last page is a prayer that you will be getting a handout for you. And I just would like to finish with that prayer, and then we will be complete. So you can just close your eyes and receive this. This is a prayer you can do with your medicine, your smudge. May my mind be cleansed, that I might receive divine wisdom and think in alignment with my highest good. May my eyes be cleansed, that I might see the Creator in all that I look upon. May my ears be cleansed, that they might hear Creator speak through others. May my throat be cleansed, that Creator might speak through me. May my heart be cleansed, that I might love myself and others more deeply. May my hands be cleansed, work through me. May my feet be cleansed, that I might walk well in sobriety upon my blessed Mother Earth. May this smoke cleanse me and carry my prayers to the Creator, all my relations, I hope. Chimigwich, hi, Marcy, thank you. And Bama P, we don't say goodbye, we say see you later. So Bama P, all my brothers and sisters in recovery, may we all own our worthiness to be happy, healthy, and whole. Hi, Chimigwich. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's an honor to share with you.
Thank you so much, Denise. It was amazing. Yeah, just fantastic. Thanks everybody for hanging in. We had some audio issues, I know, but I think we got through it just fine. So just a little housekeeping stuff. If you have not filled out your evaluation for this session,